The Garrett Perry Podcast, take 23. I'm here with Dave Fuller and Margaret Fuller. Dave Fuller is running for City Council. Let's just dive right into that. How's that been going for you?
I think it's going pretty good, Garrett. I'm feeling very confident that I have a good chance of getting on. There's 8 seats, and I think I have a candidate with some different skills, a different skill set than maybe some of the other people that are running. So I think I have something to add to that brings value to the residents, to the taxpayers, and hopefully I get on. And if I don't, it's all right too.
Right on. So your whole thing is going to be focusing on health. Is that correct?
Well, I really have 3 legs in my my platform. It's like a dog with 3 legs, Garrett.
Okay.
So the first leg is people. So my primary focus is people. My passion is really to help people. So I think we can do a better job of supporting the people in this community that are really making it a vibrant community, a good place to live. So right now, 0.5% of the city budget goes back into the community, into these type of events. And I think we could increase that without affecting taxes. So, and it's these people that invite people to come and live here and make it such a great place, because we have a challenge in this community, and it's going to be more challenging as the LNG goes through, and of companies finding good talent, jobs, people that to fill the job spots that are available. And so we need to be a welcoming community, and so I think that we can support that. So when my focus is on people, it's that. I think there's also some challenges with homelessness. It is a big challenge. I know that it's something that I was looking through some files on the internet the other day, and I saw that there was a big sign that said homelessness, and there was about a debate for the last time the council was running. So they were talking about it then. But nothing's really seemed to be done. In fact, it seems to be getting worse.
Yeah, well, they say that all those evacuations because of the wildfires, everybody got shoved into Prince George. Yeah. And the people who were homeless in these communities never left Prince George, is what I've understood. Yeah,
so they're definitely part of it. But I've been helping out since 1986 on the streets.
Okay.
I started in 1986 with Soup Bus. I helped out with St. Vincent de Paul every couple of weeks. And I see there's a change. So there are a lot more people sleeping on the sidewalks, but there's a lot more drug use. So people used to be drunk, maybe had a few drinks and come get something to eat. But now they're shooting up. They're doing crack cocaine right in front of me.
Really?
Never saw that before.
Wow.
There are a lot more needles on the street, and so we have to deal with that as a community. And I think that a lot of those things are being downloaded on the government of Prince George, so the city. And so I think we need to, come up with some strategies that are going to help people that are coming into this community looking for low-cost housing, looking for low-income housing, and make it an affordable place to live, and at the same time provide them with the opportunity to have a better life.
Well, with a lot of these people with the drug issues, I would say that a lot of them are like mental health issues as well.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And Margaret, you can attest to this, but a lot of drug issues are based on challenges that people had in their childhood, or growing up, or it is, and there is a lot of schizophrenia on the streets that is self-medicated, right? No, not only schizophrenia, but other challenges that are self-medicated, right? So definitely that is part of the thing. My other 2 platforms are the environment. So I am passionate about the environment. I was involved in cleaning up the air in Prince George through PACHA. I had 60% reduction in odor, 40% reduction in particulate. I also think we can clean up that sewage treatment plant at the bottom of Coward Road that smells up that ice cream shop, makes it stink, and I think it's time we did something about plastic bags, plastic straws, and the organic waste that's in our household. So like composting. So that, and then in terms of economics, people are upset because the salaried people at the city, you get a salary and then you take overtime, and big overtime on top of that. it's not the way things should be done. So, you know, my business background, you know, as a business coach, that's what I do, is I help clients look at, you know, where they can save money, where they can make money, and how they can get our businesses, you know, stress-free. And so I want to do that for the taxpayers. I want to help them look at things differently with some common sense.
Okay, what would be your third leg then?
That was my third leg.
Oh,
so first leg is people. The second
People.
leg is economics, and the third leg, the second leg is environment. Third leg is
Economics.
So P.
Okay.
I get it.
Garrett. Hey.
So what your job? You're
I'm a counselor
Okay.
at the university in the First Nation Center and the Wellness Center here. So yeah, our job is to work with any of the students that are at UNBC that want to see a counselor. Yeah.
Oh man, do you find that mental health is a big issue with the students?
Well, I mean, I don't actually have numbers, Garrett, but I would say that, yeah, I'm booked pretty solid. There's 4 therapists, including myself, so, and we're booked 2 to 3 weeks in advance. So yeah, I think people are using our services. I think mental health at this developmental stage of the game, when students are entering university around 18 to 20, that's, you know, in their 20s is when you see sort of a huge transition that they hadn't seen before for a lot of these students. And so then that brings on a lot of stress, which brings on a lot of, if they have any predisposition to mental health issues, then it's going to be exacerbated, it's going to be a bigger deal, and so we're here to help. So I think our university is a great supporter of students, and I think having these services, we have a psychiatrist here for half a day a week, we have 4 therapists, plus we have 2 nurse practitioners and a doc, so we have a whole health unit, so it's a real holistic approach to
You have a
students.
team.
We have a team, so yeah, I'm definitely not alone, so I really like working here because I think we work well. So we're not just isolated, sort of.
I think it's important to have a team with that mental health too, like
Absolutely.
have the doctor, the counselor, and have them communicate with each other.
Absolutely, and we do that well here. So students are, I think, really lucky, and I think we have lots of opportunities for not just individual therapy, but we have groups, we have all different modalities, so people can get involved in different ways. So, yeah.
Right on. I've been struggling with mental health for a while, for a long time actually, before I even started communicating about it.
Yeah.
And it's really tough to talk about it in the first place. And what I'm learning right now is just like, it's like a time and a place to talk about it. And it's not like, I don't know.
How do you actually find that space? Kind of
Yeah.
thing? Yeah, and it's a really lonely endeavor though to do it by yourself, right? Being stuck inside. Yeah, so I think we're all trying to challenge that, to kind of create space for that.
What does the stat show on percentage of people that are dealing with mental health or depression or?
I don't actually have numbers because I mean it would depend again on the population and it would depend on the age group, and I would say that between 18 to 29 is usually when we see any sort of first signs of it. You know,
But people
they're
go
leading
through
on.
those kind of things throughout their life.
Absolutely,
Everybody does.
and I
Everybody
think it's more
faces
and
it.
more, yeah. So I mean, I can't say statistically, but I think it's more and more spoken about, and I think you're right, Garrett. I think people are learning to talk about it. It's that social discourse out there that it's okay to feel low and to maybe talk about what that looks like for you or for me could be totally different, right? But to kind of find a place where you need to talk about it and make it okay, like make it okay to struggle and to suffer, you know, and you know that life isn't just about what the commercials look like on TV, you know.
Or Facebook.
Yeah.
Or social
or
media
Instagram
or
or
whatever,
whatever.
right?
Yeah, when people post on Facebook, it's usually like the highlights of their life, and then people tend to judge themselves according to what they see on there. And
Yeah.
it's not necessarily a good way to go about.
So true.
Well, I think the incidence rates of depression and mental health challenges is rising with, you know, I think they've been able to track a correlation between usage of social media and mental health issues or depression because of that. They're comparing, how come everybody else has a beautiful life, right? Everybody else has it good, and here I am.
It gets really, really lonely, right? It gets really, really lonely when you feel like you're not there or whatever there is, right? So yeah,
You
constantly
know,
creating those gaps. So, and I think we're also missing community. And I mean, I think that's a big piece of your platform, but we're also talking about that at work. How do we build a sense of connection and belonging for these students. Like, I might not have the answers, or my team doesn't always have the answers, but knowing that we see people, that people are real and that they matter as much as we can, and teaching each other how to do that, even when we walk down the hall. So I think my job's not just in the class or in my office one-on-one, it's when I'm out there and having lunch and just noticing, right? So it's about being human, I think.
Yeah, one of the things that I talk about, like one of the things on my platform is the fact that I believe, to be honest with you, Garrett, is that, and I've got this on my website, I got it on my card, is that I believe that loneliness is a bigger issue than homelessness. I believe that we have these neighborhoods, all these neighborhoods, where there might not be anybody sleeping in the park, but I can guarantee that there's people lonely in those neighborhoods. Because we don't, especially in the winter when people aren't out, but all through the year, we're not interacting with the people around us, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're not, we got old people that are in these houses that would love a visitor, would love somebody just to drop in and have a cup of coffee with them, or a cup of tea, just to say hi, hey, I'm Garrett, who are you, right? And I've developed some wonderful relationships over the years with some of my neighbors who had family in town, and their families are working or whatever. And I just stopped in and had tea and then or coffee. At first I just said hi, then I got to know them, and then for a couple of these old guys, I started going in every day, pretty much, Margaret, or every couple of days.
First thing in the morning.
First thing in the morning, just go around and visit them. And if I didn't show up, they'd say, Dave, where are you? Where were you yesterday? Right? But it's that human condition that we want somebody to be interested in this, right? And so it's like that ills of this age. It's really an illness of this age, of this worse society, right?
We're really disconnected, yeah. We actually have a group at work. We call it an interpersonal process group. And we have about 8 or 10 people, and we show up every Wednesday for about 2 hours, and we sit in a room and we just connect with each other. We don't have any agenda. We just know that we're going to be together for 90 minutes, and what is coming up for you, Garrett, and what's it like to sit beside me, and what do you think, and how do you feel, and what's everybody else doing, and just sitting together with no agenda. I mean, it's kind of awkward at first, and we have to build a lot of safety, but it's very, very powerful. Yeah, to have that routine and to build that safety, to build that space, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, quite recently I got terminated from my job. I was working at CKPG, and that was my, everything in my life. That was my social aspect, and just having that taken away is just the day-to-day is a lot tougher, too. And then just feeling good enough to even go out and look for another job has been extremely tough. I don't feel like I'm even worthy of work.
But you are.
Exactly.
I've seen you on the radio. I've seen you. I've interacted with you over the years, and you're a powerful guy. You're a great guy to be around. You're fun, and you got some great talent, right? You can ask a lot of questions. You can, you're good at a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
It was a great artist as well.
There was 10 different times I applied for, while I was working there, working in the master control, where I tried to get a more creative position, which I got denied every time. They always hired out of town people to come in and stuff. So that I wasn't feeling very good about. And then getting terminated on top of that has just been hugely, and then just the financial aspect too, just not having any income and stuff. If it wasn't for my sister right now, leaning on her, I'd be homeless myself. I don't know if that would be a mental health aspect of it, or I don't know how to label what I'm going through at this point.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's the reality, right?
Yeah, exactly. There was some mental health issues there, but now there's a lot of reality that's kind of interacting with it.
Yeah.
For sure, that's a lot of grief to kind of remake yourself, right? How do you start?
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like you're really fortunate to have your sister and to have
definitely.
space to kind of.
Yeah, if not, I'd probably
have
to go live with my parents or something.
Back in Hazelton.
Yeah, Kitwanga.
Really, yeah. Wow.
But you know what? And that's another thing too, though. I think that sometimes we think that, hey, we're going to come to the big city and it's going to be better than our small community. And what do we have in our small communities that is different than the big city?
community.
We have community, right? We have these relationships. And so maybe, maybe there's no work, or maybe it's not as much work, but we have those relationships. And our daughter is she's going to school in her third year. She can do a transfer from this university. She's in Paris. She did a university transfer. So you pay your fees here, and you go to universities around the world. So she's in the University of Paris School of Business. And she's taken a course in cultural, international culture or something like that. It's in the Commerce Department. And the first day the teacher said, how many people in this room, and I think there's about 30 from all over the world, know somebody in their family that's living in an old folks home or a hospital? And she put up her hand, and one other guy from the United States put up her hand. And then they had a discussion. And the thing is that all these other, they were saying, why would you put a family member in a hospital, like, when they get old? Like, why, old people belong with you. And so in our families, we go and move in with the old people, or they come and move in with us. And it's just something we don't do very well. We're so isolated compared to other cultures, right? It's a cultural thing too.
Yeah, that is crazy, because that is like the social norm once someone gets old enough that they go to an old folks home, or just kind of like get forgotten about almost. Yeah. It's a terrible thing. And
there's a great need for, like, you'd be really good at that because you talk to people.
Yeah.
In those kind of situations, like you'd be great in that, in some of those homes as a care worker, right? Mm-hmm. Because you've got a great personality for asking questions and joking with people, and that's what these people need. They need to be treated like human beings, right? And so, and that's what we're missing in our society, I think.
Definitely. That's what, like, doing the show and having the community at CFUR, when I could get in.
Yeah, when the door's not locked.
Yeah, definitely. And, like, back in the day when I was volunteering at CFIS, I helped produce your Health First show, and you did that back in the day.
Yeah.
How is it like retiring from radio? Do you miss it at all?
I do. I do miss it. But now, like, I'm a business coach, right? So every week I get to talk to people and have deep conversations like I was doing on the radio. But mostly on the radio was limited to whatever the buck was or whatever.
Right.
You know what it was like.
Yeah.
Just kind of, but now it's kind of like you having this, so where you can go anywhere with the, in the conversation. And so, kind of like Margaret, she does it in counseling. She has some really deep conversations, and so I get to do that from a business perspective, which is really, it's challenging. It's really hard sometimes, but it can be enriching. But I do miss the community, like you said. I'm not in my store. I sold my store, so I don't go to work anymore. Like to that, so it's tough. I know it's. I know exactly what you're saying, right? It's tough.
You had a huge shift in your life, because you used to own Ave Maria, or part owner, and you sold out. Yeah. Now you do job coach exclusively.
Yeah, business coach.
Job coach. Yeah. I have a job coach at Work BC.
Yeah. So it's business coach. So it's a little different, but it is. You go from a community to Margaret goes to work, all the kids go to school, and they're in at home talking. Maybe you get on a computer and talk to somebody in Ontario, or New York or wherever we're talking.
Do you find that the people who own businesses are different, more centric? I feel like that would have to be. You'd have to take quite a bit.
You know what? People that own businesses are lonely too, and I can tell you that because when you're making decisions at the top, you don't think you can talk to your employees, so you got to make some tough decisions. You got to, let's say I was head of, the TV station, and then I had to lay Perry off.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, it's a tough decision. It's a really tough spot to be in because I like you, and now for whatever reason, maybe it's economic or maybe it's whatever the challenge was, that I got to make that decision. So I can't talk to you about it. I can't talk to your coworkers about it. Who do I talk to? And so I go, so if I bring that home, my wife doesn't want to hear about it because she's got her own challenge. I'm not saying you, but they got their own challenges. So when you're running a company, it's a lonely position. It can be a lonely position, and so that's what I do. Is I found. So I'm there to support those people in making whatever decisions they have to do. Which there are not always those tough decisions like laying off Perry, but hopefully not. But but you know, they're struggling maybe with cash flow, or maybe they're struggling with trying to figure out what the competition's doing, or you know, 60% of businesses aren't working very good, right?
It's a tough thing to do.
Tough thing, right? And so maybe in some cases I'm dealing with people that their employees are making twice or 3 times as much as they are, right? So, but and that's an embarrassment. It feels like shame. So it's shameful. It feels shameful for them, and so they want, who can they talk to? So that's why, you know, but they're lonely. Some people are very lonely. So what you're talking about, the fact that you're bringing up this issue is really important, right? Because we don't talk about it as a society. We push it under, we just say, let's go on Facebook and look at how everybody else is so happy.
Right on. You were just recently on the Prince George podcast. How was that experience?
You know, Perry, it was good, but this is good too.
PG, GT.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right on, yeah.
But thanks for having us on.
Yeah, it's great to have both of you on. Yeah, I think we should kind of wrap it up, keep it short.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Thanks a lot for coming on the show.
Thanks, Perry. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thanks for
Jeff.
having us.
Good to meet you.
Good to meet you.
Yeah.